What's up, my sacred friends? Thank you so much for tuning in for another video. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Maggie and I do all types of spiritual care, self-care videos. So if that's something you may be interested in, please consider subscribing so that you never miss another upload. So lately, guys, a lot of things have been kind of intertwining, happening in my life. Lately, my videos have been more self-improvement, self-help, still Christian, faith-based. And now I want to really kind of throw in self-worth, boundaries, raising your standards and all of that good stuff. I want to start adding and incorporating videos like that now because, again, I know I keep saying it, she's free out here. She's able to finally do that, and really work on myself on a deeper level and individually, right? All of my videos were always catered to me being in a relationship, being with my husband, my ex actually, and things like that. But now my videos are more focused and shifted towards ourselves, our mommy, single working selves. Okay, so today I want to talk about raising our standards, right? Because we have too much to lose. We have been working too hard and we can't just be letting any old body come in and out of our lives. And I think we need to start raising the standards, setting boundaries for that to happen. That's what today's video is going to be all about. So let's go ahead and jump into number one. So one way you can start to raise your standards is by showing up a little bit earlier to work. So I'm saying that now because now I have finally got a new job. Okay, it's going to be a kind of a new environment for me, but I really plan, and this is another job, like another field, right? I've always catered to hospitality. I've always been a night supervisor. I've always ran the audit for as long as I can remember, but now I'm in a totally different field. And I don't want to take this job for granted, right? I don't want to go into it already like, oh, I got to go back to work. Even though I enjoyed all of this alone time or time off of work, I should say, now I have to get back into work. Now I have to find another stream of income, keep myself busy, get something on payroll, so showing up 20 minutes early or 10 minutes early, I think, especially for my new job, it's just going to set a standard. It's going to set a boundary. They're not going to be looking at me as that girl that's always late. I'm going to be the one, oh, Maggie, she's always early. She's always on time. You know what I'm saying? So like you can raise your standards, set those standards by showing up to your workplace earlier. All right, the second way to start raising your standards is by getting rid of those toxic relationships. And it can be family, it can be friends, and it can be your spouse or your loved one, right? Holding on to toxic relationships is just a waste of energy. It's a waste of time. And I actually have another video I can't wait to get into. It's all about toxic relationships, how to get rid of them, how to deal with them, how to wean them off. But literally, you can raise your standards, first of all, because that person may not be expecting you to like cut them off or like kind of stray away. You're setting your standards because people are learning to respect you. People are learning, you're teaching that person how to treat you, right? So you're cutting off those relationships as a first step into letting that person know, hey, I'm not dealing with this. I'm not putting up with any more of whatever you're putting into this relationship. I'm unfulfilled. I'm mature enough to walk away. So that's another way we can raise our standard. And guys, you will be surprised the weight, the peace you will now have back entered into your life, Like, it's an amazing feeling just having that dead weight off, so get rid of those toxic relationships. Third way you can raise your standards, and I'm talking to myself as well, is by stop eating fast food. Now, I'm not saying your occasional pizza night or like your occasional stop at the McDonald's drive-thru, but if you're like me, sometimes fast food is just so much more convenient. Oh my gosh, I know that's so bad. So I'm preaching to myself as well. But we can raise our standards because, for one, we're taking more initiative, we're planning more, we are dwelling and cooking more home-cooked meals, we're taking more time, putting more time into prepping and cooking a meal. To me, that's raising a standard because, again, you're not succumb to just going to the drive-thru. You're not procrastinating and wait all the way to dinner and then going to the drive-thru. You're not, wasting money and not even being fulfilled anyway, because how many times do we go to a drive-thru and the food is cold? The food is not what you want. They didn't gave you the wrong order, but you just spent $30 in a drive-thru. And again, I have 4 children, so yes, it's almost like $30 every time. So getting rid of the fast food can definitely raise your standard and make you back healthy again, right? Fourth way to raise your standards is by reading more. And I'm not just saying reading your social media posts and things. I mean grabbing an actual book, a devotional, a something. Yes, you can use your phone. Of course, I have Audible. I have audiobooks. I have sermons, podcasts, everything I listen to and you know, scroll and read as well. But picking up an actual physical book, reading it from cover to cover. All my books are usually self-help books, Joyce Meyer books, Rich Dad, Poor Dad books. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always those type of books. And that's another thing. What you're reading can actually raise your standards as well, because you want to be that person who reads celebrity gossip all day, or you want to be that person who can read and dissect a whole paragraph or a whole chapter of a self-help book. You know what I'm saying? So that's just another easy way to raise your standard. Number 5, of course, we should all be doing this, and that's just exercising more, moving our body. Of course, that ties into eating more healthily, but moving our bodies some way. I don't care if it's one day a week. We have to start somewhere. I'm currently on 2-3 days a week, and I went down from 5 or 6 because I'm starting to have, because the kids are back and forth from their dads with me, so I just utilize the days I don't have them, you know. So it's all about working with your own schedule, knowing what works for you, and then making it a priority, you know. All right, the 6th way to raise your standard is to be dependable. Follow through on the things that you say you're gonna do. Being dependable. You say you're gonna show up to a birthday party, be there, okay? You say you're gonna help someone and send them some Cash App money, and you know, when you get paid next Friday, I mean, send them the money. And and again, I'm not saying we can't change our mind later, but at least human enough, you know, to let the person know why you can't help or why you're backing out. And no, you don't owe everybody an explanation, but if somebody's expecting something from you, a good example, I like a hairdresser, okay? There needs to be standards on both ends, right? The hairdresser needs to be respectable, responsible, you know what I'm saying? And being ready, being prepared for the client. And then the client needs to show up on time, shouldn't be rude, shouldn't be, you know, expecting a whole lot, you know what I'm saying? And not calling off, not showing up, no shows, what they call it at work or whatever. You know, like, be dependable, follow through on your word, and always show up whenever you're needed, you know, or whenever you agree to be needed, okay? All right, number 7, I think I mentioned this before, but it's just setting boundaries. Again, when you set boundaries for yourself, it becomes so much easier to execute them with other people, because now you're holding yourself accountable to certain things, right? So when you're setting boundaries, guys, and you're probably going to hear this a lot moving forward, because boundaries are so important for me. And boundaries can be a deal breaker. It can be a hit or miss. It can really determine if you're going to continue being in my life or not, you know? So setting boundaries, teaching people how to treat you, not doing anything you said you wouldn't do, you know, going back on your own word, creating boundaries for yourself and for other people. You know, it's so important. You'll get so much more results that way. It'll stop the indecisiveness. It'll stop the back and forth in your head with certain things. If you just create that boundary, have it already fixed in your mind that you're not going to cave in to this, you're not going to be treated this, you know, you're not accepting this, and this, you know, that's all creating boundaries is. And then people will automatically catch on if they want to be in your lives. They will have no problem adjusting to them, succumbing to them, as long as they're not like outrageous, crazy, whatever. Then you're going to have a hard time keeping people in your lives anyway. All right, the 8th way that you can raise your standards today is to be of service. So I mentioned this earlier, just about being helpful, but I mean really being of service. That can be in your community, that can be in your church, really anywhere you can be of service, in your family, to the old people's home, what is it called? Retirement homes. Like, just be of service. If you have the time, honestly, truly, if you seriously have the time and you want to make that a priority, be of service somehow, some way. I'm of service to my church. I feel like that's the easiest way for me, because I go to church every Sunday. So that's the easiest way for me to be of service. I help older women, you know, with their coats, to help them sit down. I'm now going to start being at the door, taking the temperatures, doing the mass. I help count the offerings and things like that. It's just being of service, inserting yourself, and it makes me feel good when I'm doing it, you know. It makes me feel like I'm helping God, or I'm doing something for God. It makes me feel like I'm going to get rewarded later in an immense way. that I don't see coming yet. Like, it's all about doing things without expecting anything in return, you know, except for God. You know what I'm saying? Like, do things and hope it returns from God, you know, not for the people, the person you're doing it for. And last but not least, number 9, I thought I had 10, but I guess I have 9 today. So the 9th way to raise your standards is don't accept any more BS. That could be from family, friends, spouse. Co-workers, don't be disrespectful, but don't accept BS anymore. If you know somebody's lying to you, if you know somebody's manipulating you, if you know somebody's a narcissist, if you know somebody's feeding you BS, if you know this person is on some BS, or you're in a situation that's BS, or you're hearing things that's BS, don't accept it. Get up and walk away from the conversation. Get up and walk away from the conflict. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't just accept it. Don't just deal with it because it's there. You know what I'm saying? Like, stand up for yourself sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And then we will seriously start to raise our own values. We don't need people to tell us that our standards, that we have standards, and that, you know, we don't need anyone making us feel that way or feel a certain way because we are standing up for ourselves. We are creating more boundaries. So that's another thing. I think I'm going to add that as number 10. Don't be discouraged because people are always going to have something to say. Don't be discouraged by wanting better. Don't be discouraged by wanting to do better or be around better people. Okay, don't be discouraged. It's going to be number 10 because everybody's going to have something to say. Everybody's going to have this turn their nose up attitude, like we're really think we're better than somebody or whatever, but really we just want peace. We just want a new life and all that good stuff. All right, so that's enough rambling for today. I really hope this was helpful. I really hope our ladies are taking the second half of the year into account and we're doing more towards ourselves, towards our inner self, towards our, you know, all of this inside matters, right? So love you guys so much. That's all I have for this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.